Hello, everybody. Sam Davidson here with MEA Worldwide, and we are inside quarantined. I hope that everyone is being safe and healthy and is taking precautions, but we are still here to be giving you amazing content because there's still new shows coming out, and they are great. And I'm so excited about this interview today because we're going to be talking to Gail Bean, who is one of the stars of Spectrum TV's Paradise Lost. And I'm not kidding. I think it might be one of my favorite shows I've ever seen.
Oh, yes, that's so amazing. Yes, high hopes, high. You set the bar for us already.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, where are you? How are you holding up with all of this?
I am in Atlanta, Georgia, which I'm from here. So I live in Los Angeles, California, but I left March 16th and flew home because we shut down production on snowfall, and I just felt that it was only going to get worse. So I was like, let me go home and be with family. And be quarantined indoors with little ones and my mom, brother.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so glad you're doing well. You're going to have quite a big week ahead of you, even though you'll be inside. Let's talk about the show. It is so cool, so exciting. There's so many layers to your character specifically, and you see her grow a lot throughout the season. What was it about her that really attracted you and connected you to the role?
I love that she was just this Southern belle, and she'd been through so much, but it wasn't really about her past. It was more so about her maturing and really trying to figure out her future. My parents are from a small country town in Georgia, Camden County, Georgia. They're from Woodbine and Kingsland. So it reminded me a lot of my mother's story growing up because Gynnifer had tragic events happen when she was 2. And in my life personally, my mother lost her sister. Her sister drowned along with a couple of her cousins when she was a little girl, and she named me after her sister. So her sister's name is Gail. I'm named after my Aunt Gail. So much of that just resonated with me because it's the Deep South. It's like a visceral truth of the Deep South and some of the secrets that are weaved in throughout of it and their way of life and how some people choose to escape or not acknowledge the past, but try to just bury it and continue on as if normal. So many things about her attracted me to the role.
And tell us a little bit about your family on the show and how they're connected to this bigger mystery that's going on.
So first is Gynnifer Green, who plays my sister, Danielle Detweiler. And she left Bishop, Mississippi, went away, was a journalist, went to school, went to Columbia in New York. So she's actually seen more. Her world is bigger than just Bishop, Mississippi, which is contrasts in regards to Gynnifer, because that's all I've ever seen. I've never left. But she's back, and sometimes, you go away and you realize that you've been living in a bubble. And the way of life, as you know it, is so much bigger than that. So she comes back and she's here to uncover some secrets and stuff about our family past. My uncle has been in jail since I was 2 for burning down a motel that killed my father. Mm-hmm. And she's trying to uncover the real story about that because she doesn't believe, what's been told to us and what's been said. And there's my Uncle Ronnie, who I said is in jail for starting the fire of the motel that my father died in. And me and him have an estranged relationship because he was so young when I was so young when it happened. So he hasn't really been in my life. Even though he writes me letters, I don't really respond. And my mother is already deceased. So as far as family, I really just have Neek, Uncle Ronnie, and then there's Teeny, who has been like a childhood. Sometimes in the country, it's really small. Everybody is still kind of considered family, and you look out for everybody. Mm-hmm. So she's more like a family friend, but she's been in our life for a long time. She has her own beauty salon. She kind of knows the lay of the land. She's a little older, but an amazing actress as well as an amazing person in our lives and really cares about us. And since we don't have any parents, she's more so like our guardian and looks after us and has been there for me. And then even though they aren't family, you also have my boyfriend, which is Curtis, who is a paramedic.
Okay, yeah, okay, got it.
A real boy, the actual boyfriend, not much. You have my boyfriend, who is Curtis, and then you have my childhood sweetheart, which is D. Michael. Mm-hmm. So all of those characters are involved in like my life, kind of sort of like family, because Curtis and D. Michael have been in my life for such a long time now that I look at them as family.
And so tell me a little bit about how race comes into play in series. Bless you.
Thank you.
So how does race come into play? Because a lot of the projects that you've done as well have such, strong messages, that take place with a cast, that's extremely diverse.
I'm so sorry.
You're good, bless you. How does race come into play with this story? Because it isn't necessarily a focal point, but it is a big part of the reason and the way things happen the way they do, especially in the South.
So with race, it's race and it's class. So with the South, it's more so like everybody kind of knows their place and you just don't get out of it. So you have me and Curtis, for example, with him being my boyfriend and possibly the father of my child. I know that race, even though we're in 2020, race is still an issue. And, I'm even afraid to tell my sister and Teeny that I've been intimate with a white guy because I don't want to be judged or looked at. And I know I already know they're not going to accept that. So it's not a thing of racism where you don't necessarily like another race, but it's more so of like, okay, we're just saying separated. Like we're not going to mix in certain things. You're just not going to mix. Like when it comes to business, when it comes to your bed. And then there's also they haven't touched on it yet. They kind of just do a glimpse, but you see Uncle Ronnie and the judge knew each other, and obviously there's something there back in the day. So the fact that Uncle Ronnie went to jail, I think that the race card may play when they actually possibly in season 2 get into that story and we see what really happened and what all the judge knew, what all the judge did, what all Uncle Ronnie decided, okay, I'm going to take the rap for this. I think it falls on the fact that he's Black.
Yeah. And there's so many different aspects to this story, like we just talked about race. There's also this question of if there's a supernatural entity, going on within this town. Like, is it more just a creepy vibe because it's a very dark place, or, and that, to be honest, at the end, we're not necessarily given a straight answer either on that. What were your thoughts kind of as an actor figuring out what was going on here?
So here's the thing. With the Southern, we're very big in the South, we're very big on religion. Mm-hmm. And there's a moment when Frances and Gynnifer are at the tracks and I said, so you don't believe in God? And she's like, no. And I said, I had never met anybody like you before. So I think what they're trying to hint on, what they're touching the surface of is that in the South, you do believe there is a strong religion and a strong faith and a strong belief system, whether it be Christianity or something else. And the supernatural powers that be, or whatever it is, the mind control that Janice has over people, it's still some sort of belief. And it's just as strong as any other faith and any other religion. So it's a thing of, in the South, you believe in something. Mm-hmm. And it's like Frances comes into this town and this is someone who she's like, no, I don't believe in that stuff. Like I believe in science and physical things that have proof. So you have this eerie overlying feeling of, okay, all of these things are happening. There has to be a reason. And it's like Frances is trying to find the reason as opposed to everybody in Bishop has just gone off of it's a deeper meaning. Like it's a spirit, it's a faith, it's something.
Yeah, there's something going on there for sure. That's a really great explanation. I like that. It makes more sense to me too. Since this is such a creepy show and you had a bunch of scenes like the one you just spoke of where you're on the train tracks at night, that was one of, I think, the scariest parts.
I screamed watching it.
Okay, so what was it like shooting it? Did you guys ever get spooked at all?
Okay, yes, because it's definitely scary just how it looks on the thing. I was like, oh, whoa, okay. But they actually shot the final cut is way different than what we shot, because originally it was Shane, who plays Dickie, has these dogs and they come up and the dogs come up sniffing at me and barking at me first, and he's like, are you holding or something? But they were like, okay, let's not do overkill with the dogs after Black people, because we already got the dog chasing Danielle. We're already in the South. Like, we don't want to do overkill with dogs and Black people. It's just too much. We don't want to keep projecting that image, which I'm really grateful that they were able to say, be mindful, because you don't have people who are sometimes mindful of the images that they put out there. And they may not intentionally, like, you know how some people are like, oh, no, there's a message that they're really trying to push. It's an agenda. Sometimes it's not an agenda at all. They just miss it.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that they were like, okay, we don't want to, as they're shooting it, and they saw it was like, let's cut it different. We don't want to continue to push that out there. But it was definitely scary when we shot it. And I think there's like this myth that somebody died there, like in real life.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yes. So that was another like, oh, whoa. And then while we were out there trying to shoot, it started raining and thundering and lightning. So we had to like break for a few hours.
Oh my God. That sounds pretty creepy.
Yes.
And speaking of Frances, like, what can you tell us about your character's relationship with her? Also, what it was like working with the actress behind the scenes, because you guys had some really great special scenes together. You were such a support for each other.
Thank you. We were. So with Frances, and this is true to this, that's one thing I do love about Paradise Lost, is a lot of it is just true to the South. Being from the South and like the deep South of it, a lot of it is very true to the South. So with the outsider, even if Danielle, who plays Neek, is still kind of considered an outsider because she left and was gone for so long and came back. With Frances, even though she's married into the family, it's like you're still an outsider, which she begins to feel even when she realizes that she doesn't really know Yates, and there's so much about just the whole family and his past that even his sister, that she's unaware of. But I think when it first came in, I know, Gynnifer looked more so at Frances as just like, okay, it's a job. Neek wants me here. I'll do it, whatever. But I didn't think too much about it, and which is why I had quit in the beginning. But then I started to realize, okay, let me give her a shot. Let me, and kind of get to know her. I kind of got to start to care for her and be able to open up and trust her. And we were able to build a bond. And I more so felt like, let me help guide her in navigating the South, because it will swallow you. Bishop will swallow you as an outsider. So let me help her, and we become friends. And she helped me in some ways with giving me advice, and I was able to like confide in her and vice versa. And just working with Bridget is amazing because she gives her all, man. She gives her all, and she really wants to make sure that we as a team become a family and have the best product out there, and just that we're comfortable and that we talk the scenes out before to make sure everybody is aware and feels comfortable with what's going on, and they feel that that's correct within their character in the world that the character is created. So it was really good working with her. And I had just finished watching Jane the Virgin, so I was like, oh my God, hey girl.
Yeah, it took me a second to even register in my head that it was the same actress, because she's so different. Obviously plays two completely different roles in both shows. Yeah, she was definitely really, really, she was so good in the show. And also, I know that some shows you get, like, because this is going to be a bingeable show, you get all of them up front. You get to read the scripts, all at once. And sometimes you get them fed every week. So did you guys get them every week, or did you read it all at once?
We got them. So in the beginning, early June, I want to say we got like the first 4 episodes. And then we were slowly getting them at once. But we was like, me and Danielle, so funny. At first we were in a hotel, and our rooms were adjoining doors. So we would have our rooms open as we were reading, like, you here yet? Did you get to this part? Did you see what happened? Girl. So it was really good, and it was really fun to get them in. So we got them one by one, and after the first 4, we got them one by one, and they were just great. We were so excited. We still had table reads, of course. The first table read, the first 2, it was like everybody was there. People from Paramount, people from Spectrum, people from Anonymous, and it was just this huge thing for our first 2 table reads, and they taped it. But it was fun. It was fun hearing it on its feet.
And so the show ends on I would say a definite cliffhanger. It's very open-ended. And you said earlier, if the story continues, there's so much more to explore. So this isn't, because so many shows these days are limited series and, you know, just kind of like a one and done season, but there are
Mm-hmm.
hopes for this to continue, because I mean there are still so many more questions.
There's definitely, we haven't heard anything yet, but there's definitely room for it to get picked up again for a second season, because there's so, like, for one, we want to know what's going to happen with Uncle Ronnie. We want to know what's going to happen with our Airstream. And then when we find out the big reveal about Janice, is like, what the hell? So it's like, it's so many questions. We need to find out who is the father of my child.
Yes, we do. We kind of just didn't even answer that question, so we'll have to know that. And I just want to touch briefly too on Snowfall. So you were shooting season 4 when all this, how far into it were you?
We were shooting episode 4, season 4, when they shut things down. So we have a long ways to go. With everything in us being on hiatus, I don't know when we'll come back, but normally it comes out every summer. So we're supposed to release season 4 this summer, but I mean, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Yeah. So I don't know, but I'm very excited because Wanda Bell did not die. And there's a lot to see. When she does come back, she comes back with a bang. And she will be there for the remaining of the season. So,
oh, that's awesome. Well, I can't wait to see that. And hopefully you guys can get back to work soon. And hopefully Paradise Lost will be a huge success. And when this quarantine is over, they'll start production as soon as possible for season 2, because I need it.
Yes. I'm praying helping. Thank you. I received it.
Okay, well, Gail, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you again. Please stay safe. Please stay healthy. And everybody, same goes for you. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time. And catch Paradise Lost. All 10 episodes are being released on Monday, April 13th, and you probably will binge it as fast as I did.
Yes, you will. Tweet about it. Let me know. Instagram about it.
Yeah, where can we see you?
Paradise Lost. Oh, so my Instagram is at Insta, INSTA _ B3AN. B is in boy, 3 the number, A is in apple, N is in Nancy. And then Facebook, Gail Bean, Twitter, Gail _ Bean.
All right, Gail. Well, we will talk soon. Thank you again.
Yes, thank you. Have a great day and safe and stay healthy. Have a great quarantine.
Bye.
Bye.